Yeah. Yo, see, caught you up there.
You caught me. Yo, you caught me adjusting the desk.
Adjusting everything, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Caught in the mix.
Yeah. Happy Saturday. Happy Sabado.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Happy Saturday, everybody. Well, big shout. Well, before we get started, I'm gonna start. I'm a little housekeeping. Send out the condolences to some of my a couple of our regular viewers. I know aren't going to be on because my cousin Victoria, her husband Erwin Rush, passed away. Probably I think it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, I believe. But anyway,
okay.
Funeral is tomorrow. Today is right now. It's actually right now. Reverend Greg Heyward is up there conducting the funeral.
Okay.
On YouTube, I'll check it out later. But
my condolences to the family, man.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a rough week. It was the same week, the Sunday before my cutting. So that's going on there. So that's where some of our esteemed colleagues and our faithful viewers,
our supporters.
Yeah, they are. So you got that out. And other than that, I mean, we here though, but we here.
Well, I want to give a shout out to one of my just found out yesterday that last night one of my ex committee members that on the board that I sit on passed away yesterday. Hardworking man. He was young. He was definitely dedicated to the community and for the flight and the plight of the young black male, right? He gave a lot. So we send condolences to him and his family.
No doubt.
So
homie. Yeah. That's a shock. That was a shock.
But in other news, it's Saturday. It's Sabado. What you got going on, brother? How you feeling?
Yo, I'm getting there. I'm rebuilding.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm coming back. Like, but I will say, because we're gonna parlay all this into what we talk about. I'm on a path of really making the health supersede the wealth, because they or you want to look at the health, the foundation of the wealth, if you want to look at it that way,
right?
But it's a process to do that, and by going through the situations that I've gone through, the situations I've been around, the situations we just mentioned, you start saying, I think people say stuff, oh, well, you never know what tomorrow is, and okay, you gotta live your life every day. But here, how we do, it's always like, well, what does that mean? So it goes to, what does that mean for you every day? Like, does it mean get up at 5:30 in the morning or whatever and go walking? You know what I'm saying? Making sure, you eat oats. Make sure you, like, it's the little steps. I think we live in a world with so much hyperbole and so many statements of, they're kind of like pacifying for the moment, like, this and that, without going back and being like, well, what does that mean? So when I say a journey on reconfiguring the relationship between health and wealth, it means really, like, what am I going to do? So, I can come out here and say that, oh yeah, without health, there's no wealth. I could say that. Show ends, I go get some Hennessy and,
not Hennessy, bro. That's crazy.
Eating some ribs, doing whatever, but I'm gonna get to it. And I might do that. I'm not gonna do that. But what I'm saying is like that. But it's really, it goes back to our habits. When we talk about habits and stuff, like, what are my life habits that are going to exemplify what I'm saying? And, and it's very simple. I mean, it's just like business. I think everything is, when you get into business, if you put process in a big part of your life, Not 100%. Who the heck want to live a robotic life? But like when you on vacation, you're on vacation. When you at a family event, you at a family event. You know what I'm saying? You it stops. But your how you manage yourself day in and day out. Um, for me, the more process that I can adopt this habit, it makes things easier. And like no, you don't know the future. So all you can do is live in the present and prepare for the future. I mean, no one goes to bed. I ain't gonna say no one, but most of us don't go to bed expecting not to wake up. So, so if you expecting to wake up, how'd you prepare for that when you went to bed? Yeah.
On that note, let's roll this up, right? Let's roll this up. So obviously, health is the way because it's number one, it's the foundation. But more importantly, it helps you focus, right? You, as a business owner, even as an individual, but again, for our business owners, creativity, pushing through, consistency. Consistency creates that discipline. So, being able to leverage that focus so you can continue to drive because you have people that depend on you, right? You have yourself, you have your family, you have your staff if you have them, but most importantly, you have your clients, which help you. That's why you're in business, right? So, and then it prepares you for, I don't remember what episodes, maybe you can remember, but remember those episodes we talked about the two books, right? Seeing Around Corners and What Got You Here Won't Get You There, right? So, we got to be prepared for the unexpected because you can't see around corners, right? And that's one that we gave some principles on what that is, what those inflection points in the business process in your journey is, right? And then what got you here won't get you there. So there's a new level for every single opportunity, for every single challenge that you turn into an opportunity to continuously grow. So when they say health is wealth, it's not really just some people use it as a word. Some people use it as a statement. And maybe we don't have the insight that our community, because our community suffers a lot with that, right? Across the world. And it's just about each one teach one. And we consistently get on here along with other people in the world that are really trying to, I don't know if we're trying to make some change, but I guess whatever's in us, we're trying to put it out to the world, share it, give information, not gatekeep. So maybe somebody will run across an episode, a statement, a situation that maybe we provided a resource or a solution and it can help that one person. Then guess what? We're doing what we're supposed to do, right? So, and so that's why it's important that we work. At least we try. You're not gonna always win, but at least you could try, right? Stop winging it and try to start winning it a little bit.
Yeah, that's put a bow in that. Yeah. What was that? Stop
winging it and start winning it. We wing it way too much.
Wow, that's serious right there.
It's just a shift, it's one shift, right? And so again, we talk about processes and we talk about systems. So you're running a business, right? So for example, if you need a minute to yourself for whatever it is, do you have a system in place or are you the system? Are you the key holder, right? That's what adds stress. That's why, there's a corporate software out there called, I shouldn't even say their name because they're not paying us, but it's relative to wearing many hats, right? And so it's designed and named after that because they know the single sole proprietorship owned business owner wears multiple hats, right? So we got to be careful with that. And we got to put systems and people in place. And it's a forever journey, but it can be fruitful. What's easy is not really worth it, but what's hard can be worth it, if you will.
Yeah. Well, and I think also to add to that, there's I think with people, not easy. Another thing too is was not that exciting. So you take items that aren't. So if your achievement is exciting, all right, your goal is exciting. When you reach this goal, I want this to happen. But often the steps to the goal aren't that exciting. So what happens?
Gray area.
Yeah, well, people, what happens is that's why you can't see around corners because you looking at the exit. You're not seeing what's happening around each corner. You seeing like all you're doing is paying attention to the goal line. We can use it, all types of stuff, but we use since it's football season, or not, we use football season. You're looking at the end zone. You at the one your own 1 yard line, and all you thinking about is a touchdown. But you're not thinking about 1st and 10. You gotta get a first down before you can get the next first down. Now
Yeah, you
some
gotta
people,
keep
yeah,
score to get it. You gotta
yeah,
keep
but
score to get
some, yeah, but some people, they don't what they're gonna do, and this goes to video games like Madden. They'll throw 4 straight bombs. I'm gonna get 4 straight bombs. I'm gonna try to score a touchdown from my own 1 yard line, 4 straight times. And you know what your percentage of success is that. But the boring, if you do 3 yards, 4 yards on 3 plays, you get a first down and you're able to get the move forward. Like business is a lot like that. Because I'll put it in perspective. You can sit there and I've done it. Many people have done it. Um, you can sit there and say, yo, we need to make 300, 100, let's say a million. We use a million. Let's do millionaire math this morning. You know what I'm saying? And you generating 200,000, but you want to make a million. So your business may not be whatever your business is. Let's say you like food service or something where the margins are slim. For you to be doing $1 million a year, you have to do a lot to get there. If you're walking with 15% margin of whatever you sell, so for every dollar you make 15 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, even if you make $1 million gross, well, all right, let me take it back. Let me make my thing simple. But you want to sell $1 million, and you selling 200,000. Well, there's no one item you sell. If you sell everything at $1, that's going to make you one sale is not going to give you $800,000. Like it's not. It's just mathematically not going to happen. So
Right.
you have to be like, man, how do I keep climbing up this mountain? What do I have to do? What is it? It may be the difference between. I don't know why hot dogs are coming to my mind, but it's hot dogs, right? It may be coming into you as simple as the way you package it, to you turning your hot dog wrapper into a coupon for them to come back. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing exciting about that.
You giving some jewels right there. Packaging,
yeah.
remarketing. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, but these things that it can be, so there's not, you're not going to get $800,000 in sales just because you say you want them. Like, and so it can do that, but guess what? You're not going to do it one weekend and then you get 800,000 either. You have to get the consistency over time. You have to, this is the season of aeration here down in the Southeast. You have to aerate your marketplace. You have to, because what's aeration is there for you to pull up plugs so you can put seeds in there so that.
Speak on that farmer.
Yeah, I'm
Speak
going
on that farmer.
No, yeah. I'm talking that suburban dude.
Yeah.
That don't do it. Stuff like, would you put it in there so that the seeds will grow, and they're going to grow a little bit, but they're going to die in the winter. But in the spring, your lawns will be strong. It's the same thing with your market. You have to keep boring holes in them and feeding seeds in there for them to get it. And then they say, oh. So what I'm saying, back to the original point, if you've ever done it, boring holes in your lawn is not the most exciting thing. Seeding your lawn is not the most exciting thing. Cutting your lawn ain't the most exciting thing, but for some it's very therapeutic, and I get it. But what's the end result? Looking at your lawn and being proud of it. That's what's exciting.
But no, you got to protect your seeds from the birds.
Yeah, well, we can get into this ain't a workshop.
Competition, man. You know,
Right, I'm
that's
saying,
all part of the game now.
yeah, but I'm saying, I'm just making a point that when we want exciting results. Boring steps create exciting results.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
And that's what it is. It's just that they're boring steps, and it just what makes it. That's what makes entrepreneurship difficult because it gets boring. It literally gets boring. So you got to overcome the boredom as much as, and I took that from where your last point you were saying, because we always talk about this. People, I think boredom is as much as fear or being overwhelmed. I think boredom is something that just gets underrated.
Well, uneducated comes into play, and when I don't mean uneducated in terms of you can't make your way in life. I'm talking about uneducated in terms of knowing all of the different areas of business, right? So you got the different sections of business. Good morning. We got the different sections of business, right? And so, when you think about why you're in business to make money, right? You're in business to serve, right? You provide services, one of the things that we focus on heavily is, or most people, like to your point, money. I want to make X amount of money. But the question becomes, how do you think about money? Because how you think about money is what's going to force you to lead. And then you have people follow behind you, right? Because then you go, okay, well, if I'm thinking about money, if I'm just thinking about money in this aspect, well, what's the value behind what you're providing, right? Which also leans into the boredom aspect, because if your value is not really, if you're not getting or communicating the value of your product, your services, or self, then you got to do some sharpening. You got to do some reading. You got to have some continuous improvement every single day. What's our motto? 1%, right?
Mm-hmm.
1% every day to focus on something that gets you better. That's the boredom aspect, but it's going to make you sharper, because when people see what you're doing, they're going to say, hey, how are you doing that? And you go, oh, I did this. You could show it, right?
Yeah.
So this goes back to, like, hopefully everybody can take a chance, and I guess we'll throw it out there in a little bit, but go to the biz therapy, BIZ therapy coaching Instagram or Facebook page. I wrote an article on survival mode, individual as well as business, right? It's and it speaks to the survivor mode. The pressure is a prerequisite to success. You're not going to have success without trials and tribulations. You're not going to have success without being bored. You're not going to have success without challenges. You're not going to have success without being unsupported, because you find a deeper you when you're unsupported, when you're surrounded by the non-supporters, right? And it's not necessarily a negative thing. Just people either don't care, they're not interested, or they don't have the capacity to think in that way. That's all of that is a part of the journey of being a good business person, but it's a sharpening.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's we got to shout. It's my man John Way, by the way.
John Way. John Way is on the way. He is here.
Yeah, John Way is here. The founder of Pipeline app, an app that we do use in the firm. And he's gave up there. I had to put up there because he gave props. So
oh yeah.
So thank you, John. Yes, that's a thing. But Pipeline app, we're gonna.
Now, by the way, Pipeline app
good too.
Has helped our clients in so many ways with usability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usability. Before we had Pipeline, there was a lot of questions. How do I do this? What do you want me to do this? You want me to do that? You want me to do this? You want me to do this?
Yeah. So and truthfully, and when that's a good idea. We probably should and we definitely could bring
get John on the show. What are we doing? John, we're sorry. John, you need to just come on the show, John.
Yeah, I gotta set that up with him. But it's something that definitely, it's another tool that can be used to follow our process based everything we talk about.
Correct.
And I mean, and to put it straight, like really for people. And a lot of our listeners and our viewers aren't necessarily like they're personally tech. Their personal tech is there.
Cell phone stuff. Yeah.
They use social media outlets,
Right.
platforms. But if you think about social media is a consumption platform. So using technology for consumption.
Mm-hmm.
These platforms that we're talking about, including the non-mentioned um, platform with about a lot of hats and all that, but there's tons of those. But
Yeah.
project management, things like that, these are productivity tech. And in order to use productivity tech, you have to think in a specific way. You have to think. You have to think. I mean, because nothing, regardless, you have to. You're dealing with a computer. You're dealing with a machine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
absolutely.
like so you're dealing with something that's not, that doesn't have emotion, doesn't care. It doesn't care if you ain't have your coffee this morning. It care less. Does not matter. Doesn't look. I need this input in order to do that. So what you gonna do? Like it doesn't care if you don't feel like getting out of bed. Doesn't care if your team lost last night. Does care less. Does not matter. Doesn't care if if your dog kept you in the rain because they didn't want to go. So when you get like that, and this is where we're headed, folks. I mean, this is the world we're in. The people that are being progressive and making moves, that's where we headed. I mean, you dealing with tech. So I think unfortunately too many people deal with we got people dealing with tech on in the consumption so much. And they're gonna do the same thing with AI. But,
I was just about to. You in my head? Get out my head.
yeah, no,
I love those AI conversations because everybody jumps on AI, chat and all of that and all of that and all of that, and I say, okay, great. There's a specific way you use these things, not to be your voice, not to be your deliverable. It's to support you. It's to be the extra arms that you need, right? So you can facilitate the outcome you're trying to have, right? To get to the goal, So I mean, last night I went to an event. I was around there was some AI conversation, and I kind of just digressed a little bit because that wasn't really an appropriate place for me to start peeling back and asking deep questions. Yeah, because it'd have been a long night. But I'm always here to educate. I like to seek understanding, and then I like to educate people on what's next. And I still want to learn too, because people from different areas, right, different perceptions adds on to the perspective that I need to walk around, and vice versa, right? So
you be dropping, but hold it, where'd it go? Yeah, you be dropping jewels.
Yeah. Be in survival mode. Thank you.
That's because you was always in survival mode. That's why.
Well, listen, man. That's the diesel, bro. Like you have a diesel car versus regular gas. Diesel is strong and it runs a lot longer. So
no doubt, and it's strong too.
So survival mode is not a. Look, at a certain point, you're gonna have to, what we call it. You're gonna have to be able to be in a sunset mode where you get to enjoy, not being in survival mode and just be on relaxed mode. But I think I can't really complain about my walk because I've run across some great people, great opportunities, growth. We've experienced growth within our businesses and our strategic partners and relationships that we have, and helping people, man. Like we've helped some people in some serious situations, and we got some people we helping right now. And then there's more to come, and we're not better than nobody. We just different. We just know how to circle the wagons, and this.
Yeah. So we have a different language.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's multiple businesses in the same industry. Everybody, you can't own 100% of the market. You only get to own the percentage that is dedicated and designated for the value that you provide. That's it.
This guy, so check it out though.
What's up?
want to go back. I want to step back to the AI combo because you got me started.
Okay. Got you started.
Got me started.
I got another topic to get you started too.
Oh Lord, let me see.
But yo, let's pay a bill real quick before you jump into that, right?
Yeah, pay
We
something.
we in the third quarter, we getting ready to circle the wagons on the fourth quarter. 2026 is coming around. BYOB, be your own bookkeeper. Sign up. BYObookkeeper.info. Check us out. It's also on the Heyward-CPA.com site. Biz Therapy, BIZ Therapycoaching.com. We have room for educating you on accounting and bookkeeping as well as the other business coaching offers that we have. So if you're not ready, if you don't have all your bullets in your gun, come on over. Our consultations are free. You can reach us at Heyward CPA. You can reach us at BYOB bookkeeper.info. You can reach us at biztherapycoaching.com. Sign up, jump on a call, and let's walk through it. Let's discover what your needs are so we can put you in position. If we can't help you, we have an ecosystem of strategic partners that we try to make sure that we keep these relationships solid so we can point you in the right direction, because we don't have to be the one-stop shop, but you ain't gonna have to go too far out of the development to find some good help.
No doubt. No doubt. That was pretty good. Pretty good, man. Off the top. That's impressive.
Off the top, man.
All right. So so let's have the AI chat.
Okay. You want to talk about AI?
Well, because we started talking about productivity tools.
Okay.
And the thing I'll say about AI, this is not going to be heavy. It's not going to be too heavy. This is an intro because I ran an impromptu workshop in our team meeting a couple of weeks ago, and it was because I will start with saying that I've been studying it, like for real, studying it, like, you know, not studying it as a computer scientist, but studying it as I want to make sure that I stay. To me, it's an opportunity, like when a new technology, to really be there, because as it evolves, you know, it's like ground floor. So, all right, I got a chance to be here now. Side note that when I went to college, my plan was to be a computer scientist. Then I took the intro class, and then I ended up in Albuquerque.
You're bored. You're bored.
That joint was like, I was like, huh? You know, I'm like, I'm thinking on like, yo, what man started throwing binary code on there, and I'm like, what? Nah, I don't know nothing about none of this. So I learned not to program anything. I do not learn anything. So I say, so the way I look at it is my redemption. Be like, okay, here's a chance for you to maybe live out that little plan you had. But it's definitely something that, and so to make sure it's good, we make sure we speak about it in a way that's a little more productive. So AI is not going to replace. It's going to replace menial jobs, but it's going to create other jobs. So there's a lot into it. There's a lot of computer scientists that can tell you what jobs will be there. Prompt engineering is one thing. Yeah, they was paying people for prompt engineering. It's still a back end to it. I'm imagining there's people on the back end of that AI, by the way. It's like you keying stuff in. There's still people back there, whether it be the database engineers. There's still a lot of tech jobs, but learning how to prompt is the one thing that I realize right now is the most important for those of us that are out here in this world.
So let's break it down a little bit. Let's break down prompting a little bit, right? It's really about asking the right questions, right?
Yeah,
and that's prompting. It's asking the exact question that you need the exact answer to, and that's the. I think that should be some help, and that should clear up what prompting is. Prompt engineering. You know, I was in a meeting, a group meeting, and he was like, the prompt for the day is, And I'm like, and everybody's like, the prompt for the day is, we're like, what is he talking about? But
Yeah.
all he was doing is asking questions of the group. We weren't
Yeah.
even doing AI. He's like, he was there,
Mhm.
right? So it's equivalent to asking the right questions. That's what
Yeah.
it
But there's a structure to it.
is.
So, and
Correct.
there's actual names. Like
Yeah.
I've taken 3 classes. Like this, it's a thing. I don't. Look. I'm not a master of it. So one of the things is identity. I give you one of the tools right here.
Yeah.
It's identifying. So what you do is one of the ways for you to get better prompting is to have the model, the AI module, and we call
Become
it.
somebody.
Yep. You gotta tell them what you want. You say, hey, you are a pet groomer
Mm-hmm.
with over 10 years experience in grooming pets, specifically beagles that can't stop eating.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, um, provide me with a way to convince to trick my dog to get into the bath so I can wash her. That's a different prompt from I need to wash my dog, how I do it.
Right.
So
Right.
it's going more comprehensive, and in order to do that, you have to have certain things. I mean, certain ways you look, certain ways you think about stuff to do it. Once again, it's a process-based situation. We're
Right.
moving to a process world. Oh, will it become the Matrix? Probably, but we won't be around to see it. The point is that everything productivity now has come down to such concise information in almost every industry for you to get the
Mm-hmm.
performance that you need. So using AI models, yes, if you put in there, um, you know, what's the best way to this, it's going to tell you based on all the information the best way to this. But the more specific information you give it, the best way to do this.
The better the outcome, right?
Yeah. So I mean, back to our grass scenario we were talking about earlier. I'm like, I'm looking to grow grass, so I can use mine. I can do a prompt right here. I have a shaded area in the front of my house. Like so. First one, I'll say, you're a landscape expert over XXY years of growing grass in the southeastern United States, specifically in the central Piedmont of North Carolina. Boom. I could take the southeastern UPS, specifically in the central Piedmont of North Carolina in Durham. Then so I got them set. So now when it's going through its mind, it's starting to narrow down. It's starting to be like, oh, okay, here we go. I have a shaded lot that slopes downward towards the home with this large tree, Bradbury pear tree, da 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 da. What things do I need to do to grow a to improve my landscape or something like that? And I can even include a picture of a landscape I like and say to create this landscape that I see here. Yeah, that's baller, son. Do you understand like how you take all that?
And it's going to tell you what kind of grass that you're going to use, and what
Yeah,
you're going to need to use for
yes.
the shaded areas, for the ones that
Mhm.
don't need sun, the ones that
Yeah.
can take sun directly, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I'm so in tune to it now that I'm shooting it off like, and there's a lot of techniques that I'm saying in there. They have ways for you to test yourself. You can create games, you can do things, but I always go back to one of the first to the first webinars I took, and the presenter said he was like, the way that the internet sped up communication is the way that AI is going to speed up knowledge. So you think about that. The internet sped up communication. They're just now getting ready to shut off. I think AOL is finally shutting down dial-up. Now, how are we gonna code if I'm on dial-up and you on whatever we got now? So you're gonna hear each word like it you and I'm probably going too fast right now the way I'm saying it. Is it
True.
uh,
True.
and I'm a freeze and all that. How could we actually communicate? so and So when you do that, then you say, okay, so now as do we step with the AI, you know, if the reason that I'm staying early, because I'm not going to get left behind on the knowledge, like the fear, what it does is it's going to educate me more. So what's going to happen is that I could prompt better. I know more things. There's things that let's just keep taking back to business because I know we're here for the business. And there's things
talk
now
your
that
talk, bro. Talk your talk. You good?
yeah, I'm saying there's things now where it's like, okay, I'm not an HR expert and I don't need to be HR expert. I could get there. But if I have a question about HR, even into the point of view where, all right, I'm looking at adding an HR component, I'm going to hire somebody to do HR. I'm not going to do it myself. But now I can research, like, what do I really need in HR? Because if I could prompt properly and be like, we're a size so size company, da 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 da, I could go to it, you know, to the AI and ask these questions. So now it's like intelligence. I'm like, okay, so now I can go find somebody. I know I can parse through all the options and say, okay, yeah, this person kind of where it is, and it's not for me to become better than them or smarter than them. It's so that I can speak some of their language, so I at least understand who I'm trying to
So
bring
you
on.
can ask the right questions. This I go
Yeah,
back to my point. It's like you first of all, a HR person, in order to understand what you need in the organization, right? You have to understand the standards. You got to understand what it is and what you're dealing with, right? And
yep,
then you're like you said, you're able to have the conversation by asking the right questions. But you can familiarize yourself and educate yourself by using tools and AI to figure out what those questions or those conversation points need to be with a person that has perfected their skill set on the nature of people. If you have somebody that
yeah,
doesn't understand the nature of people, AI is not going to help. You're only going to be making it worse for you in the whole situation. Matter of fact, you making it worse for your customers if you hire somebody that just is not a people person, right?
yeah,
Because you think you're an HR person because now I got AI to ask and answer all of these questions that help me be an HR professional. No, if you don't understand the nature of people, if you don't seek understanding first, if you don't have some sort of an empathetic view, right? Because then you're failing all the way.
yeah,
Right? So that's what I mean when I say or when you say AI is not understanding what it is important, and how the I guess the protocols. You tell it what you need. You minimize the search. You tell it, you give it an identity, then you tell them what you're looking for, and then you give it some characteristics, and you let it find the information in search, and you bring it in. Right?
yep,
That's how you do it. It only is an extension of who you are as a business person.
yeah. And then we got a comment here. We got another comment.
Oh
Very,
yeah, yeah.
very wise man.
Mr. John,
He's right. But what John's saying, it's an excellent example of how much we assume people know what we know.
correct.
IA can't read your messages.
Your mind.
Can't read your mind. Everyone on the side of being more clear and giving more context, and you get better responses.
Correct.
And the fact of the matter is, this applies to humans too. I think that we what happens is we're so a lot of us. I mean, when we probably could do a whole show, not probably, I know we can, and I'm putting it on here for our show notes. Communication, um, being a great communicator and running a business, you have to keep. If there's anything that you want to work on 1% every day, is communication. That's that's the deal. That is a show. We get a communication expert on here to help us, but that's a whole nother story. All right. But if you the more concise you can be, the better. But you have to be able to sit back and think. And I think everything that we've talked about through 90 something episodes typifies that. You have to be able to understand. You go to communicate, you have let's take it like this. You have a great idea. You have the thing that's going to change the game. You're going to change the market. Your idea is exceptional. It's off the top. Okay. But no one is going. You're not going to do it alone. So let's just stop right there. You know, if it's a product, someone has to manufacture it. Someone has to design it properly. You have to go through the thing. You have to go through the process. So you have to show how to do it. You have to be able to communicate with somebody your vision. Because if not, it's going to stay your vision and you're going to take it with you. No one's going to know what you're trying to get done.
No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know.
No one's going to care.
No one's gonna know. I forget where that I saw that one. And no one's gonna know.
Yeah. So you have to say, you have to be able to communicate, and you have to be able to be concise, and you have to be clear and concise, because people are not in your head. And I'm talking about intelligent people, well read, well spoken, to know all this. But if your explanation of your service or product is, well, look, I have an idea for this thing that's going to change everything. I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good, man. I'm telling you, it's going to change the world. I'll tell you, man. If you just get with me and do it, we're going to make it happen. I have said absolutely nothing. I've told you nothing about what this thing is. I say, I'm hyping you up, but I've told you nothing. I'm like, man, we're going to do something. Man, look, the accounting game, we about to put on lock, man. Don't even worry about it. It's like that. Right? Because I got this idea. And it's like, if we do it, if we just tell people this, then that's it. It's going to blow up. What is that? Okay. It's not a business plan. But that's how a lot of people, that's exciting. You're excited with that.
All right. So you got idea. Well, I said you got idea. Then you have outcome, right? So the excitement is in the idea. The excitement is in the outcome. It's the gray area that is the unsexy, the boredom, the long days, the long nights, the self-doubt, the challenges. That's the pocket that you got to stay in, right? So you got idea plan, business plan, strategic plan, then you got your executional plan, right? And so that gray area is where we help people build bridges, right? Yeah. The ones that need that help, right? But you got to find those gaps where those gray areas are for yourself, and you can use tools. Now, again, using AI. Hey, I'm blind in this particular area. I don't understand such and such and such. I need you to be my teacher. I need you to be a professor. I need you to be this, and explain it to me in small, sizable chunks of something that I can digest, because my learning capacity is X, Y, and Z. So you take that approach, again, you are on the continuous improvement path of self-development, right? So to your point, good point.
Yeah, well, and a minute it goes. I was just going to jump because I see I got your little ad. You
start something. We
trying to go picture.
We jelly bean.
So trying to go picture for picture, but I'm gonna put it up, and I'm gonna put it up there because I'm actually, I think it's good for us to have the discussion we were having while we were working on the page yesterday. So let's put this on here because mine is short. So look at this. First of all, look at this guy. All right. See how you went first. So I got you. Look at this guy. So but we're working on a project as you heard earlier, Biz Therapy, which is a coach, in short terms, is a coaching plan. It's a coaching program. Okay. And one thing that we discussed yesterday, this is like you getting behind the curtain right now, is that we understand. We worked on it. It's been created. We talk about it every day. We understand it. Like, we understand completely what we're saying. We understand what's going on. And what we've had to do is reverse engineer so that the people that we're trying to help understand what we're talking about and understand what the help we're offering and understand it. And so in order to do that, we almost in the reverse of what John was saying, we have to try to read their minds But yet we have to be, we still really what he's saying, we have to be as clear and concise as possible in terms that radiate with them as opposed to terms that radiate with ourselves. Because we know what we're talking about. So we understand. We're like, oh yeah, of course, this makes sense. And, we're like, oh yeah, this will be good. This will work out for people. And now we're doing it based on intel that we received for years and years of doing intake calls and consultations. Like we know it's weak spots for potential clients. We know what people suffer with. They suffer with sales because the majority of small businesses we run into, they don't have a sales plan. They have an idea of how they're going to sell, an idea, but they don't have a plan.
Or they're selling by the way type of deal,
Yeah,
but there's no process to follow it. Yeah, absolutely. There's, like there's no I go, okay, who's your target? Who's your exact target? They go, what? Who's your customer? Who's your client? Oh, such and such and such. Well, that's not deep enough, right? So how do you stay consistent? And then how do you capture those details? What system are you putting it in? CRM, right? Go look it up, Google it. CRM, capital CRM, right?
Yeah.
Where you put this information in and use it as a tool. So
but that's what I'm saying. Is there's people that get into the mix and using what you just spoke about. They talk about the idea and the end game, the two exciting parts. But something like this is not. Our thing is to make it exciting.
Correct.
Get it when you start getting into it and you start thinking like this, it becomes exciting.
It becomes about the journey and not necessarily the destination.
Yeah, but you get excited about this stuff.
Yeah, correct. That's what I mean.
You literally
challenges. You like what I'm knocking down today.
Yeah, but even beyond that, when it starts working, it's exciting. When anytime you create a plan and the plan starts working, most people will get excited about that.
True.
And that's, to me, the entrepreneurial excitement is like, for me, I'll take an example of the thing, like the way that we reset our CRM to something. So I was out last week and I spoke to the homie about our OG, Gene Nicholas, about who he sent over there. I ain't have to call you to ask any questions of what happened with the league. I went in there. I said, this went like that. That's exciting to me. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're not chasing information. You're not supposed to chase information. You're supposed to set yourself up to receive it.
Yeah, but I'm saying forget, beyond that, the fact that we put something in place and it worked. To me, even going back to pipeline app, when we got it and we working it, now we're re-engineering it to do something else.
Right.
And it works.
Right.
To me, I'm like, yes. It has nothing to do with it's not a direct result to revenue. But it's like, yeah, okay, there's this plan because there's another part of planning. You can make all the plans in the world. Oh, it can look great. I got my deck. I got all this, that. Yeah, great. But you got to implement them. and in order you have to implement them, one, to see if they work.
Correct.
And see if you adjust it. Correct. So it's a mindset. So going back to it, it's like most, back to our little exercise here, we were talking about, hey, everybody's a business coach now or something. That's the new thing to be. You use AI to create your business plan.
Yeah, that's why I don't use I don't like generic words, but listen, you jump in the seat across the table and let's have a discussion.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is it's coaching. You see, that's the thing. We let terms get hijacked by service. Yeah. And so we sway off somewhere else. No, this is what coaching is about. They're like, because the thing is the thing. And people have to understand, they have to learn, okay, here we go. So we're just constantly working. It's like, how do we share this out here? We got a great name, got a great concept. We got a t-shirt name because my motto is always, come up with a name that look good on a t-shirt. That's just my thing. So it's like we got a t-shirt name, we're there. Okay, we put it out there. It sounds good. But you know what? It sounds good on the two dopamine steps, the idea and what the end result is. But then we and I'm not saying we're working on that answer, that gray area, as Kory put out there. There's something that prevents from people from entering that gray area, and that's kind of in our job or our goal, at least on the marketing part, is figuring out how to communicate to them that it's okay to go in the gray area, because that's where you want to be in order to get to that end post that you want. So to wrap it up, what I'm saying is we have to come up with a clear and concise statements in order for people to, because one of the greatest,
they got to connect with it.
Yeah, but one of the greatest things, the greatest pushes or what creates fear the most is the unknown.
Yeah,
that is like the number one. The unknown is one of the greatest fears.
Yeah,
the unknown, unsure of yourself, and also it's the communication that's coming out here from everywhere else. Every other coach.
Man, listen, Andrew, I'm gonna insert right here. Andrew Huberman, check him out on YouTube. We're not being sponsored by him either, but he talks about the neurological, the neuroscience of the brain and how it works. And James mentioned dopamine. Check him out. He got an episode on dopamine fix, and you'll get to understand. When you understand things, this is how it works. So when you are in a deficit, or you feel fear, or you feel anxiety, you looking for the quickest way out, fight or flight mode. So your dopamine is like, all right, let me go outside. Some people go outside and kick tires. Some people go outside and smoke cigarettes. Some people go outside and spend money. Some people just say, I'm going to take a day off and do it to myself. Some people just say, I'm not even going to pay attention to anything. It's a dopamine fix. But if you can understand what that means, now you can enter into that gray area. You can enter into the boredom phase, and you can appreciate the journey of walking yourself down the improvement, the growth aspect, and grabbing the bull by the horn, as they quote unquote say, right? It is a fine line. It's a delicate situation, because some people are not always tapped into the emotional aspect or ramifications of what they feel at a particular moment, because they know they're looking at the end goal, which is, I need to make this money, or I got to cover a shift, or I got to grow my business. I'm underfunded. I don't have extra hands. I don't feel supported. Yeah. These are all real things. And again, like he said, we're not reading books for this, right? We're going through the process and speaking to people and consultations and working with clients and helping them move the needle just one pinch at a time. And so this is what it takes.
Yeah, but what it takes. And the exercise is, still going back to the clear and concise exercise is to basically help the client find the dopamine in the gray area.
Correct.
That sums it up.
Correct.
Because entrepreneurs, all the ones that you sit down and watch TV shows and documentaries about, they love the process. They went through the motions and, okay, now here I am. No. And it is even these catchwords, enjoy the journey, go through no. They love the process of going through it. It make it real simple for you. They love it. The entrepreneurs that I've met and I've seen, they love the process. That's why they're looking to solve problems. They get something done, and that's where they go do something else, because they love going through the process. Yep. It's not about, no, I did the process. I have my, it was wonderful, because the reality is the process never stops. The gray area doesn't stop because the goalposts move.
No.
So
they just get higher.
Yeah, I mean, so it just never really stop. If you choose you're gonna go into small business, or you should really, if you choose that you're gonna be an entrepreneur, it doesn't stop. It's a way of life. You start looking at things, you're like, oh, it's a way of life. Not to scare you, but nevertheless, that's why Kory is here, to walk you through the beginnings of the gray area. Because really, that's what it is. The beginnings of the gray area, and shine light on things. Specifically, this program is about sales because we have identified the fact that small businesses do not think about sales. They don't think about it. They get them, and especially based on your type of work, if you work in the market, that early enthusiastic, early sales. And in software, they kind of call it evangelical sales. The people that they're there. You get that. It's going to die down. So you have to start building some type of pipeline, term that might be new to you, pipeline, so that as those evangelical sales, start leveling out, you have something else to keep your sales curve going up. But that's a preview of the situation. You can check him out in his webinar. He'll tell you all that stuff. So anyway, that's that. But what our greater point was to close on the AI and get ready to close this show out, and so I could drink something, something non-alcoholic, of course. Using tools. It's about communicating better. So you have to communicate better with the AI. You have to communicate better with your customers, your potential customers, your vendors, your team members. You have to be able to communicate. Part of the job requirement. Want to own a small business? You got to communicate. And you can mess around and say, "Well, I'm not going to hire anybody. I'm on my own." Yeah, all right. Well, you're going to have vendors. You're going to have somebody. You're going to have customers. You're going to have somebody you have to communicate with. And so, we getting ready to close out here. See, that's the close out now. Now,
Okay, as JCPA,
Yeah.
This
So
is.
I will be quick on this, because it speaks for itself.
I was getting ready to put some candles on the cake for you.
Put some candles in there. I'm a go ahead and put the candles on it. I'm not gonna be funny about it. Go ahead.
Should my business be an LLC or S Corp? Check us out. Check him out on Ask Jay the CPA. Matter of fact, shoot us some questions, because a lot of these videos that you're going to see Ask Jay CPA, we try to cover them here on the show, but he answers a lot of the questions that we get internally from people that shoot us over questions. So if you got any questions in business, definitely shoot them over, and we'll get to providing some videos and some insight on it. But most importantly, and I think I say this to people a lot, for the clients that we work with or prospective clients, a lot of people don't understand what a CPA is. So Google it. I'll tell you.
Oh, Google, you ain't got.
Well, hold on. You in my way. Stay out my lane.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
My lane. You in my lane.
I'm in the back.
You in my lane.
Backing up.
Right now, he's not just a CPA. He's a business owner first. So he understands it from the business side, and then we apply numbers, because numbers is the language of business. If you can't keep score, how you know if you win in the game or losing the game, right? And so, again, this is the points that we're trying to drive home is spending the time to learn, to understand the marketplace, to understand the messaging that is out there, understand the words that are being used. More importantly, understanding the people that we serve. What are their actual needs? What are their actual challenges and problems? So again, this is just another part of the project, or an extension of what we do here at Heyward-CPA Live, is to add these other components that can circle or embody or create a space so people can have these conversations, so people can find the right answers, right, based off their questions, and to be able to execute what those challenges are, what those pain points are. So check them out, Ask JCPA on YouTube. If you got any questions, submit your questions, right? You can see it down here below running across.
Yeah.
Submit your questions.
Yeah. Well, all I was going to say was it's a new series on this same channel to go in there. The videos are under 5 minutes, preferably under 4 minutes. And they're things to do exactly what Kory was saying. And, we're going to cover I mean, a lot of them are tax and accounting questions, general questions that people ask. But one thing that I definitely also about some of our services, we're just trying to become like a translator to understand. But you best believe we're going to talk about what a CPA is. Um,
Oh yeah, we already know. I'm buckling up for that one.
yeah, that one. It may be a two-parter. So who knows? But yeah. So it's something we finally got that going. Finally got that up and running. So we able to get that on there. So we're good, man. That's all. That's all I was gonna say, man. You like a
I
truck.
get it though. You could use in my lane. When I get on the
Man,
highway, you gotta move over.
all diesel, no brake. All diesel, no brake, man. Let's get this. Let's get this guy off the screen. There. He's answering questions. He don't even know he know what he's talking about. The picture there. So, yeah. So anyhow, that's our show for today. It's been wonderful.
See you in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for KWK Conversations with Kory. We building up the episodes. It's going crazy. So you're gonna have a library of videos to go through. I talk about workshops on. I'll give you a couple right now before we leave. Why should I start a business? Is one. I started a business, now what? And then the other one is, how do I automate my business, right, and put systems in place. So those are a couple of episodes that we got working on. Stay tuned. We'll give you the launch date, but you'll have a full library. So when you're home on the weekends, or you're home in the mornings, or you're home in the evenings, you can binge watch. No Netflix. You go to Biz Therapy, or you go to Heyward-CPA, you binge watch some episodes, okay? I yield back. I yield all the way back.
Hey, we take it back. Well, with that being said, yeah, just binge watch. That's a thought, though. I can't lie. That is a thought. So we are out of here. It's real. See you in 2 weeks. Be good. Happy October. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all lucky.
It's Cancer Month. It's Cancer Month. It's representative for Cancer Month. I know people deal with it every day, but it's Cancer Month, man. Support your people. Even if you don't know anybody, still support, because if you what we have a 6 degree separation for most of us. We think what doesn't affect us right in our face doesn't affect us at all. But there's some real people, real families, real individuals that's going through it. Support people, think about them, contribute, spend some time, do some walks. Cancer Month, October.
No doubt. All right, we good. And y'all lucky y'all don't get to see the hat this year, because we not on air the week of my birthday.
Oh, so, yeah, that's true. Now, well, you got to bring the hat to after the next episode.
Well, yeah, I might.
All right, well, you know what? Then I'm gonna make sure I take a picture and I'm gonna show the people, because they got to see that.
No, I'm bringing the hat in 2 weeks.
All right, cool.
Sure. All right,
cool. Peace.
This thing is.